Alright. Alright. Barakatha Yahweh. Barakatha Yahweh Shah. Barakatha Yahweh. Barakatha Yahweh Shah. Barakatha Yahweh. Barakatha Yahweh Shah. Call Lord Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shah. Bahashem Rachah Chodash. Alright, man, that's who this world ignorantly calls God and Jesus Christ in the ancient Paleo-Hebrew tongue. Right? First and foremost, I had to go to give double honors to the elder apostles across the four corners of the earth who uphold and push and teach this 100% truth, right, and prophesy the downfall of America, right? We know that 100% truth lies within the umbrella of within the umbrella of Great Millstone under Elder Apostle Tahar and on down, right? Also to give double honors to the elder of the Men of Israel camp, the Ak Chazak, who I also teach under out here in Greenville, South Carolina. Right, also to give a shout out to you, Akim, that's your brethren, right? That's out there across the four corners of the earth. That's out here pushing and teaching this truth and sincerity as well, the 100% truth as well. And then that's to you, brethren, and then to you, very few Akwaf who believe that be you sisters, man. To y'all, I had to say shalom, shalom, shalom. All right, it's the Ak the Bak coming back through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah once again with another quick hit on break. With another quick hit on break, man, and the point being, Salakia. The point being, as you can see by the title, man, it says he that do. I don't know what I'm gonna make the title. I'll take that back. I take that back. I don't know what I'm gonna name. I don't know what I'm gonna name this video. But it'll come to me through the spirit. All right, but we're just gonna start with the book of Matthew, chapter 12. We're gonna go start at verse 46. It says, while he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him. Then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brother stand without, desiring to speak with thee. It says, but he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my mother and who is my brethren? Verse 49. It says, and he stretched forth his hand towards his disciples and said, behold, my mother and my brethren. Verse 50 says, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and my sister and my mother. Right? And that's going into, you know, the ones who are truly your brother, the ones, you know, who are truly your family. Right? The ones who are, you know, that's why I went into mother, sister, brethren. Right? The ones who are truly your family, man, are the ones who do the will of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, man. Right, and that was Yahweh Shah speaking. So Yahweh Shah said the will of his father, right? Yahweh Shah, his father being Yahweh, right? So his disciples that were with Yahweh Shah, that's who he was saying is his mother, brother, and his sister, basically his family, right? Basically his family, right? And that's the same here, right? We need to understand and know our family is not our family who we came on this earth with, man. That's not your family, man. That's not your family. I know damn well that's not my family, because they don't do nothing but try to talk shit about Jake. They try to you know, tell lies about Jake, they try to say I'm Muslim, they try to say all types of shit about me, you know. They try to come against me. They do come against me. They, you know, want to try to start a whole bunch of bullshit, right? Just due to the simple fact of what I believe, man, you know, of this truth. So that I know for certainty that's not my family. Even when I was in the world, I told people, man, that's not my family. My family is who I consist of, right? Who's doing who's doing the same thing I'm doing. That's my family. That's my real family. That's my real brothers. That's my real mother. That's my real, you know what I'm saying? So I was like that when I was in the world, and then now coming into this truth, and Yahweh Bashmal Shah brought me this precept, right, in the book of Matthew, man. This is a beautiful point, man. right? But another point that I want to make, right, because I want to break down that scripture, right, because we must prove all things. So, you know, break down scripture. But the ones who has said, who he that doeth in verse 50, it says, who, and it's a red letter, by the way, so it's how it shall speaking. It says, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and my sister and my mother, right? So also the point, another point that I want to make is being those people, those brethren who do the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh have your best interest, man. They have your best interest at heart, man. You know? Okay, did it pick back up? Yeah, big kind. Okay, Salakim about that. Had got a truck, but I'm still out here at the plantation, you know, early in the morning. But calling me about a damn truck and shit on the way. Salakim about that. But before that truck gets here, man, I'm still gonna push this point real quick, man. So like I was saying, I'm gonna read it one more time. Matthew 12:50. It says, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brethren, is my brother or my sister, and mother. Right. So the point that I was making right before I got that call is those true, sincere brothers who are doing the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh should have your best interest. If they are sincerely pushing and teaching this 100% truth and being diligent amongst this faith, right? Those brothers have your best interest at heart, man. Right? So we need to move accordingly amongst those brothers, man. We don't need to rouse up at these brothers. You know, if the Lord puts something on, if the Lord puts, you know, something on one brother's spirit to tell another brother or whatever the case is, right? You don't need to rouse. We don't need to be rousing up at those brothers, man. Right? That's what the Lord Yahweh shall put upon their spirit, right? And you should come humbly and fucking, you know, examine it through the spirit, man. Try it by the spirit, man. That's what the scriptures say. Try the spirit by the spirit, right? So you need to. You shouldn't just automatically just want to boast back up at somebody, you know, because these brothers, these are our true brothers, man. So anything that these brothers say to me, I know I'm going to take heed of, and I'm going to go and I'm going to examine it through the spirit, man. That's what I'm going to do, because the Yahweh said himself, right? The ones that do my Father's will are my brother, or my mother, and my sister. So I look at y'all. This is my family, right? So I'm always going to take heed to what is being told to me. I'm not automatically just going to try to knock it down or just try to, you know, just deny it off a rip. I'm not going to do that, man. I'm going to try it by the spirit, right? Because if it was through the spirit, I'm going to try the spirit. I'm going to try it by the spirit, man. I'm going to examine it by the spirit, Salakim. I'm going to examine it through the spirit, right? That's what I'm going to do, right? I'm not just automatically going to shoot it down. You know, because once again, this is my true family, man. Those brothers who you see me out there on the highways and byways with, man, those are my family. That's my family, man. I love those brothers, man. I'll die for those brothers, man. You know, I go without for those brothers. I've shown it, you know, and not to brag or boast, you know, because Yahweh Shemel Shah has seen accordingly, you know, but I'm going to do accordingly no matter what amongst those brothers, man. And when those brothers come and talk to me, I want to take heed to what those brothers have to say to me. I'm not just going to, you know, automatically try to rebuttal or automatically try to you know, push it down or like throw whatever they say, you know, let it go on one ear and out the other. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take heed, man. I'm going to take heed just out of the position that those brothers have, you know, in my life, right? Because that's my true family, right? You know, from the elder Kazak, right? And on down in the men of Israel camp, I'm gonna take heed upon that, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, that I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to examine what they're saying through the spirit, right? Through the Ruach, right? And I'm gonna move accordingly, man. Even to the simplest thing, man. You know, a brother may say, "Hey, you forgot something." You know, I'm not gonna do that. I'm going to say, oh, damn, for real? Okay, hold on, let me, you know, I'm going to try to process real quick. Okay, damn, maybe I didn't. No, Salakim. And I'm going to just move accordingly from it. I'm not just going to try to hurry up and try to attack that brother or shoot down what that brother is saying. Just because sometimes we even say stuff and we don't, like, we may be trying to say one thing and say another thing. You know, what comes out of our mouth is something else. You know, that happens, you know. But you know, that's just being a point. Just a quick hit on break. I gotta cut this one a little short. This truck pulling up. You know, over here at the plantation, I ain't even really get to take a break. You know, but I'm gonna try to slide in, you know, whatever I can, you know. But yeah, man, you know, I know that was the point. The point was made, you know, through the Spirit. You know, just a quick hitter, just another quick hitter on break, you know, just to go into that. You know, and I'll be back in with another one. Abba Ratazai is y'all see my next video, you know, will be with a brother. You know, I got the Lord put a beautiful video upon my spirit. And it's gonna be a sit down video. It's not gonna necessarily be a quick hit. You know, it's gonna be something to go into, to dig into deep, you know. You know, but Abba Ratazai, you know, I can get that in the works, you know, with one of the brothers, one of the Akim. And we're gonna go from there, man. But with that, man, I'm gonna end it, man. Shalom, 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 right? What does it say? Matthew 12:50. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, right? Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, the same as my brother and my sister and my mother. With that, I'm gonna end it. Shalom, shalom, shalom.